Last time we saw Genesis 6 hint at fallen angels and giants, but the Bible barely scratches the surface. What if there's another ancient text that names these angels, describes the rebellion, and explains the giant offspring in shocking detail? That's the Book of Enoch, called forbidden by many churches. Today, we're exposing it straight from the source. Enoch 6 1 through 2 reads, "And it came to pass, when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And Semjaza," probably horribly butchered that, "who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by multiple imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swear they all together, and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And they were all 200 of them who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it." And then it lists all the names of their leaders. And I won't even try to go there. But isn't that fascinating? I always heard little whispers of the Book of Enoch, and I was told it was really bad. Never, ever, ever read it. And now I ask, why? Why is it forbidden? It's an ancient Jewish text, 3rd to 1st century BC. It's not in the Protestant Bible canon, but it is in the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible. Now, I understand it is not scripture, and I'm not trying to say it's scripture, but it is, I think, part of ancient history. And even like Peter and Jude did mention it in the New Testament. Jude 1, 6 through 15 directly pulls from Enoch 1:9. It's prophecy about judgment, but it does refer to the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation. He hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. Enoch, who lived in the 7th generation after Adam, prophesied about these people. He said, Listen, the Lord is coming with countless thousands of his holy ones to execute judgment on the people of the world. He will convict every person of all the ungodly things that they have done, for all the insults that ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Basically, Enoch is mentioned, and the fallen angels are mentioned there. Chapters 6 through 16 details the watchers. You also might hear the term watchers or fallen angels. So there's 200 spirit beings, because I think angels is not the best term for that, because I know in our human brain we think of angels with wings and they're floating. Let's say these sons of God, spirit beings, who made a pact. There was 200 of them, made a pact, and they came down and descended on Mount Hermon. And so when I discovered Enoch, it connected so many dots for me from Genesis. And this just isn't extra fluff. It is what the ancient people understood and recognized. And for somewhere along the line in our society, we become so science-based, so kind of like black and white, that it's hard for us to imagine the spiritual realm. But this is the backstory of why the world has been so corrupted. It has been so corrupted from the very beginning to, I believe, to this day and age right now. So it's mind-blowing details. It's rebellion and giants, these sons of the fallen, the watchers, their sons become these gods, and people start worshiping them. And so the watchers are led by Semjaza. He's a chief, and there's others like Azazel. And they swear this oath to take human wives. They teach forbidden knowledge. This is really fascinating what the Book of Enoch talks about. Talks about these watchers coming down and teaching humans secret, forbidden knowledge. We always think that we are the most technology people out there in history, right? Like we were taught to believe that all of a sudden there was a big bang, we came from apes, and so our egos, our personalities, we think we trump everything in our past, everybody in our past, because we're so smart now. I think it's different now. Reading the Bible and like looking into the Book of Enoch, I think it's completely different. I think before the flood, there was so much technology and knowledge because the watchers came and brought weapons. They brought even makeup. It's referred to like makeup, and that just reminds me when I went to Egypt, like Egyptians have like that heavy eye makeup that was brought by the watchers. Astrology, sorcery, these watchers, these fallen angels, these sons of God that disobeyed God and didn't want anything to do with God anymore, came and started corrupting humanity in a very grand scale that has never left today, that it continues today. Their lineage, their bloodlines, in my opinion, continue. And that's why I think it's important for us not to pass over this. It's in the Bible for a reason. The offspring, the giants, the Nephilim, massive, violent beings who devoured everything, even humans. It talks about it in Enoch 7:3-5, but it also mentions it in the Bible. Like these giants started to take over everything and they started eating. Cannibalism started happening. That's why this led to the flood. God sends the archangel Michael and Raphael to bind the watchers under the earth until final judgment, which I think is so fascinating. And so God, that's why we have the flood. This explains Genesis 6, heroes of old, and why evil exploded pre-flood. These spirits of the giants, Enoch says, they became demons roaming the earth. That when the children of the watchers, the children came, right? The watchers came, they had children. Those children are called the Nephilim. And when the Nephilim died, that is where demons came. Demons were still allowed to roam the earth. They were spirit beings, but they needed hosts to fill. So that's where we get demons. But the church never says the why. We just talk about demons in this very casual, weird way. It's essential context for understanding the giants and fallen angels in Scripture. Churches skip it, but it amplifies the Bible's warnings, the Book of Enoch. So the next episode is were the Nephilim real? Biblical and historical evidence beyond Enoch. So if Enoch just blew your mind like it was blowing my mind, subscribe more for unspoken truths and comment, should Enoch be in the Bible? I don't think Enoch should be in the Bible, but I also think that we should not ignore Enoch. I think there's something here. And I think our ancestors also understood something was here. So we've uncovered the shocking details from the Book of Enoch today, fallen angels and their giant legacy. If this episode opened your eyes, follow me from slumber to scripture to stay in the loop of these mysteries, or for a deeper dive into more details on all of this. Tune into my podcast. A new episode drops every Tuesday and Friday, and I go a lot deeper in those. Until next time, God bless.